Hey, everybody. Welcome to another episode of the Lost Coast podcast. Today, I have a special guest for you, and his name is Don Teague. He's got a little, let's call it a different strategy, different take on CPA work. Don, welcome to the show.
Corey, thank you very much for having me over today. Well, it's like over. I'm in another state, but
Yeah, that's all right. We're here, right? And
we're here. Yes, we are. We're here and we're ready to go.
we're going to give the listeners some great information. You are, anyways. I'm going to listen and learn, and so will our listeners. So, Don, tell us a little bit about your strategy with CPA and why you got started in it and why you love what you do now.
So I guess a little bit of background is in order. Right out of the gate, I got a corporate job, was there for 17 years. I said, you know what, the grass is greener over in that field over there. It wasn't. And after some back and forth, I'm like, you know what, we're just going to do this on our own. We're going to just have at it. Let's go do this. Let's do tech. I love tech. I love helping people with tech. Even though some people call me grumpy, I still like helping. So when I started, working on my own, I realized I was using several different pieces of software that didn't talk to each other. And that frustrated the living daylights out of me because I have the technical ability to make them talk to each other, but I don't want to spend the time doing that. So the search began, and I ran across this platform that basically, I don't know how you want to call it exactly, but it's more of the shell. It's got the technical shell in place to do whatever you want. And I'm like, okay, this is perfect. So I built it out for myself. And then I started talking to my CPA and I started looking at other CPAs and they were doing things in weird ways. And I said, you know what? There's a better way. So I said, let's just repackage this platform. Let's make this platform work for CPAs. And here we are.
Interesting. So that's your primary objective then is kind of to work with the CPAs and maybe some bookkeepers or something, somebody that keeps businesses taxes and their numbers all together. And so
Yeah,
you've adapted this platform then to work with that specific CPA or that specific industry of sorts. You can work this thing to their specific needs then.
right. And the level of customization in this software is such that, CPA 1 and CPA 2 may go about, let's just say monthly bookkeeping. They may go about it in very different ways. One may do this to start, one may do that to start. And we customize the software based on the CPA's processes. We're not out to change your processes, right? You've got them, they work for you. We're not here to change that. We're here to help enhance that and move that along so that you're able to keep track of where you are, what the customer needs to be doing. The client needs to be sending you files. That opened up a can of worms talking about, who wants to send their taxes via email, right? So this software has, you know what? I'm just going to run down a couple of features real quick for you, Corey.
Yeah.
So what the CPA can look for in this is a secure way for their clients to send them all of their tax reports from previous years, let's say sales tax and use per reports and sales numbers, all of those things you don't want over email. I assume most of us have a doctor and most of us have got their little portal with the secure message. This has that as well. So if you don't want your messages to your clients going over email, perfect. This is for you. And then a bunch of automations in place so that when bookkeeping rolls around, it prompts your customer to, let's say, upload files, if that's how you do it, right? When payroll rolls around, if you automatically get their stuff, it just says, hey, get started and go get their stuff. It's already there for you. So all of those automations in place, along with client communications and dashboard kind of updates to where they can log in and see where they are in the process. So if you're reconciling the books for the last month and you're doing the verification step, whatever that may be for you, it'll say, here you are. So your customers don't have to worry and wonder about where you are in the process. They don't have to email you for an update. They can just log into your portal and see, oh, you know, they're working on reconciling the books right now. I'll leave it alone. Now, if they see it there for 2 weeks, yeah, they're probably going to call you. But that's, it is what it is on that one. So, the automations in there to kind of help your client see what you're doing, and you get information from your client quickly and present them with a platform that's branded to your name, your logo, your color scheme, and fits in with what you have already. That's what I'm offering to folks. And, the feedback that I've gotten so far from people has been really positive, and they're enjoying it. And so, here we are. Let's get some more people on board.
Yeah, so I can see that working pretty well, like in a CPA's office in that, because it's kind of taking the load off that front desk person who's usually gets all that stuff thrown on their desk. Hey, call this guy, remind me this, call this guy, remind them that they need this piece, we need that piece. They're on the phone trying to make phone calls all day. And of course, you're only hitting about, probably if you're lucky, 30% of them are picking up the phone, you leave a
Yep.
message, you got follow-ups. But this platform here seems to do all that kind of for you. You'll know if they respond, you'll know what's coming in, because it's always keeping track from day-to-day basis then.
And one thing I haven't mentioned, it can actually send text messages to their phone. So if they're ignoring their email, you can start texting them and, hey, send us your stuff. We need it or else. And yeah, so I mean, how do you want to get a hold of them?
Yeah.
We can do it.
Yeah, so even for the client purpose, and what's the best way to contact you? Through text message or email. So then you can actually set it up so it's automatically going to go to their text message, because let's face it, we all got that phone attached to our hip nowadays, it seems like, no matter what. I mean, I was anti-phones for a long time, but I got my smartphone 5 years ago. So even I fell to the system, and now I don't know what I'd do without it. The calendar's a big piece of the product in there now for us, especially in the world we live in, to keep track of everything we got going on.
Yeah.
So this part of this platform here, I mean, so that's the working. So when you're working with the client, not the, so your client's a CPA, when you're working, what do they expect to get from you as far as, how do you set them up? What's the program? When you say it's catered to each specific CPA, what exactly are you looking at? What are they looking at to expect?
So the basics, which almost should be a given, we're going to brand it, logos and whatever. That's really the easy stuff. What we're really doing, he said in English, is that we're going to work with you to figure out your business processes and what you're doing now. So if you have 15 steps for monthly bookkeeping and you have 10 steps for monthly payroll and 6 steps for quarterly payroll, I'm making up numbers. We're going to go in and we're going to work with you to figure out exactly what you want on your platform for both your customer and you and your staff. So if you want your staff to do A, B, and C, and you actually want other staff to do A, B, and F, okay, we set that up. We go in and we learn your business processes, how you're doing it, what order you're doing it in. When your staff is done with this item, what do you want to happen? Do you want it to notify the customer? Do you not want it to notify the customer? Do you just want it to notify you? Could you care less at what I'm talking about at this particular point in the process? We're going in and all of your business we're putting into the software for you, right? And that it sounds really basic, but when you start looking and thinking about all of the things that happen in your daily process and you start to write them down, it's like, holy wow, I actually do a lot more than I realize. And bringing on new folks into your business after that, it's a lot easier because you're not having to train them. You're basically letting the software do it as they're walking through it. I just realized I jumped train tracks on that one. But what we're doing is we're going in all of that configuration we're doing for you. And that's going to take, easily, in bare minimum, 1 to 2 weeks, to learn your processes, get them all in place and get them going for you so that you can hit the ground running. Um, and then basically, working on all of the other little things to make it work, prettying it up, like I already said, coming up with your templates and this and that you need. And that's basically what we're going to be doing for you. And that's about a 1 to 2 week process to get all of that information from you, for us to turn it around, put it in the software, get it going, run some training with you to show you how it works exactly and what you're doing for your specific business. That's what they can expect.
Now, okay, so you're in there, you've gone through this 2 week process with them, 2, 3 weeks, whatever it takes to get everybody up to the learning speed, right?
Mhm.
Um, how's the follow-up work? Where's the support afterwards? How's that all work? I mean, you're not just coming in, here you go, boom, love you. Now I'm out of here though, are you? I mean, are you there for them afterwards so they can keep maintaining and probably have to keep tweaking it, right? To kind of really get it honed in. I'm sure that would take longer than the 2, 3 week span.
Yeah, there was one client I was working with that they said, this is definitely the way I want it. And they realized, no, that's not. And so we changed it for them. I use this software daily. It's not like this is something I just set up and go with. So making the changes for you is exactly what we're doing for you as time goes on. Well, we're going to be there for you to, update your processes, change whatever processes you need. If you're adding a new process, if you need to get a staff member onboarded and get them up to speed on how to use the software, we'll do a quick training session with them, maybe even make a training session for you so that they can walk through it. We're there. We're not just gonna, set it up and run. You're going to be able to contact us. You're going to have, a login to our portal to send us a message that we use to say, hey, I need help, or give us a call, and we're there. It's basically, we're not going to up and run because we have nowhere else to go, Corey. And it's like, we're here.
No, that's great. So they got the full tech support, they got the full McCoy and the adaptability and the flexibility of the product to adjust as the business changes, as it grows, as it seems to make different accomplishments in itself. Well, that's great. So Don, tell us then, what when you get the client on board and they're coming in and you got this whole piece is working out right now, you've done the tweaks, whatever. What is there a standard procedure for your follow-ups? Like, are you stepping in there once a month? Are you stepping in every 6 months? Is it yearly, or is it just based on the client's need, your client's need, of course? And they send you a message through that portal, I guess.
I hate to say it's a case by case basis because that always bothers me when I hear that, but it really kind of is. If you're the type of client that wants, and I kind of get the feeling you're needing me to check in, I'm going to check in. If I check in 2 or 3 times and you say, Don, go away, I'm out, I'll back off. Um, we're going to be sending out kind of the feelers of how's it going. We'll send you some updates now and then on what new features are in the platform. So we're definitely going to be reaching out. Um, Honestly, we don't have a standard, this is our going to reach out after the fact policy. We just kind of reach out as needed and see how it's going. And if you haven't contacted us in 6 months about something being wrong, we're just going to make sure everything's okay,
Yeah.
Uh,
So now I know CPAs and bookkeepers and all those, the financial kind of piece of it, that's all great. But I mean, this could work for like maybe restaurants or maybe some other kind of business. I mean, I know you can adapt it. So what's another industry that this could really help, besides just the CPAs and bookkeepers and stuff?
this could really help a lot of lawyers. I was actually talking, ironically enough, last night to a friend of mine who's a lawyer, and I was telling him about this particular project, and he's like, "Oh, really? Because I don't like sending stuff over email." And I had to shake my head. It's like, "Really? You're sending legal documents in email?" But absolutely, it could be done for that. I can imagine a case where, I'm not a lawyer, so I don't know anything that's a standard small legal issue, but they could visit your site, they could fill out the form, and you could have all of the processes kick off to notify you, your staff, have documents generated that they'll sign, invoices that they'll pay automatically. Uh, Everything that you're seeing from an automation standpoint that I'm talking about could apply to lawyers, could apply to doctors' offices. The software is HIPAA compliant. So that's a big selling point in that you could use it for lawyers. You could use it for doctors' offices. You could use it for a lot of things that require that secure transfer of data. You're wanting a unified platform for your customers to log into, to get stuff from you, for them to send it to you, kind of all in one place without jumping around to different platforms. It absolutely can be modified for, like I said, lawyers, doctors, especially.
And just anybody that's overly concerned really about their information that they're sending over online. I mean, just even in general, just regular people, day-to-day people send stuff through email every day that they don't realize there's information on there that makes you vulnerable in the whole state.
Oh yeah, I mean, you could be a dog groomer and you could end up using the platform just to have your clients send you pictures of their dogs that you're going to go groom. I mean, email is horrible sometimes for attachments and they're too large. So, there's a bunch of other services that'll do this for you, of course.
So
But you could integrate your
I want
entire
to stop you
business.
right there, Don. So
Yeah.
this will take large format then too.
Oh yeah, yeah. You have up to 2 terabytes worth of storage online. So if you wanted to have someone send you a 200 megabyte or a 3 gigabyte file, go for it. They're going to send it. You're going to get it just fine. You're not going to have issues with it. So gone are the days of a 3 gigabyte download on your cell phone going, hurry up, download, download, download.
Yeah.
Yeah. I kind of forgot where I was going with that
Yeah,
one,
I
but
interrupted you. I apologize for that.
it's all good.
That was that's just a highly important piece that I think some people miss most of the time, is because I know I struggle sending some emails with some stuff. You got all these attachments and it tells you it's too large, can't do it. And you're like, and I'm not very
Yeah.
tech savvy, so I got to back the truck up and I'm calling somebody trying to figure out how to shrink stuff down, or I'm sending multiple emails, which the other person on the other end, of course, is just like going, why did you send me 4 different emails?
Just
Get all the
4.
attachments in.
And a lot of people don't realize kind of the complexity and all of the moving parts and pieces in just a general email system. Part of my 17 years in corporate, I spent a lot of time listening to phone calls about email, about some other stuff as well. And so knowing what goes into that process and how stuff is done and how you may inadvertently get blacklisted inside of your own ISP's provider of email services, you want something that gets around those. And that's basically, what this software is doing is breaking you free from having to send files in email, sending documents in email. I forgot what I was saying. The invoices are all in one spot. You're not having to email those out. You could basically get away with nothing important going out over email, just notification. Hey, come log in and take a look.
Yeah. Nice. Nice. All right. Well, I mean, that's great. But Don, how do everybody get a hold of you? How do they reach out to you? What's the best way they can reach out to you so they can maybe take a look at what you got going on here?
So you can visit us at synchronizedcpa.com, or you can reach out to me, Don, at, let me guess, synchronizedcpa.com. Reach out to us, get in contact with me, and let me show it to you. I don't want to sell it to people right now. Well, I mean, I do. Don't get me wrong, folks. I'm not going to push, but what I'm saying is I'm not going to go in with the super hard sell. I want to show you what it can do and how it can do it. And at the end of it, you're going to go, I've got to have this, right? That's my goal, is to show it to you and you go, let's have it. right? I really do think once you see it, it is that kind of, light bulb going off of, hey, this could really help. And I could do so many other things with it that this guy doesn't even know about. And hey, there you go. You're helping me, you're helping other CPAs at the same time. So definitely, get in contact with me, let me show it to you. And, we go from there and see if it's right for you. Because some people, they may decide, you know what, I'm old school. I'm going to stick with what I got. Great. I'm not going to, not going to complain. Your business, you're successful. Keep at it. But at the same time, let me show it to you. Let me show you what's there.
Yeah, so there you go. Don at Synchronized CPA. Reach out to them, let them know. Go take a look. I mean, what if they come and reach out to you, Don, and they mention this podcast? What do you think? You're going to give them a free tour of the system?
Yeah, absolutely. We'll give them a free tour of the system, for sure. And if you decide, like, you know what, we're going to go ahead and do this, the initial setup costs, we're going to cut those in half for you. So let's say the first 10 people that contact me that do this, we'll put like a 2-week expiration on it from the date of this podcast. And there you go. You're going to get half off the startup costs. We're still going to do everything for you. It's not like we're going to do half the work. We're going to do everything for you. You're going to pay half the cost and you're going to be up and going.
All right, excellent. So I'm going to expect you to keep track of that first 10 people, Don, because I won't know about it. So it's up to you.
Yeah, I'm sure. And you know what? Between you, me, the fence post, and everyone listening, I might go to 11.
There you go, everybody. Reach out to Don at Synchronized CPA. Hey, Don, it's been great having you on the show, but you know what? Give me an example of a customer that you've helped already. Give us one so we got a little proof in the pudding here.
So I've got a customer that is relocating from Florida to Texas. And they decided in all of this process, let's upgrade what we're doing. And too much of this is written down on paper. I'm bringing on people that, they're having to follow weird spreadsheets and whatever. So we've gone in and helped them basically automate all of their business processes. Their staff, instead of having to learn the processes, from spreadsheets and PDF documents and whatever, can basically see the processes in front of them, do this, do that, do this, and that order, and it's just laid out in front of them. And their staff, he's been able to bring on, staff more easily. He's saying that, they're getting up to speed a lot quicker on the little nuances and how, he runs his particular agency, his financial agency. And that's, like, okay, cool. You're really kind of seeing the power of this. And that right there, just seeing what he's doing with it is pretty powerful. Of, he's come in, he's been able to improve his billing processes, his document signing processes, how he's interacting with his customers. His customers are happier with how they're interacting. They're going through this portal. They're not, having to go to 10 different other places to get a hold of him. And that really right now is what I think is going to be indicative of pretty much everyone's experience, because I'm not doing anything for him different than what I've talked about during this podcast. Setting up the lists, setting up the automations for him. And he still talks to me, so still a customer. So I assume he still likes me. And, that's, and even if you don't like me, but I'm doing a good job for you, that's fine too. But, that's kind of what I really consider to be the most recent type success story of, with him moving states and bringing on people kind of all at once and so much flowing around. He hasn't had to worry about, how his staff gets up to date, how his newer customers are interacting with him. They just see a polished front end, and there you go.
Very nice. All right, Don. Well, that's great. So we're going to bring it to a close then, Don. And I want our listeners to remember Don at Synchronized CPA. Reach out to him, get information from him, take the free tour. And he's offering half off your first 10/11. But, you know, have him reach out, take him up on his offer. What do you got to lose? At least take a look at it, take a free tour. Maybe this
Yeah.
might just be what you're looking for.
Take a look at it and see. You may decide in 2 minutes that this guy isn't worth it, but you may decide in 60 seconds, I got to see it all. So that's all I'm asking. Reach out and take a look.
All right. Well, we're going to bring it to a close, Don. I want to thank our listeners today for chiming in and listening, and we will see you next time. This is the Lost Coast Podcast, and we are signing off. Thank you, everybody, and we'll see you next time.